I'm Kroy.
Kroy?
Kroy.
Hi, I'm Max. Thank you for coming. I think I spoke to someone from your race long time ago, so I don't remember the details. So I just wonder about your species. How are you guys developing?
They are doing well. In fact, many improvements are being made. There are things about us that we are discovering still.
So what will be the process of you inheriting I don't know, what do you inherit? So the humanity remains on the Terra and you guys are on Terra Ha, so basically there is no, will there be like a transition where we will transit
Yes,
to you? So what kind of transition will it be?
humans will transition. If they do not transition naturally, eventually there will have to be some kind of transition that will help them along to transition.
I
But
see.
at this moment, many are transitioning into Terra Ha because they are moving along with the energy of ascension. There are those that are not moving in that energy, and they are still very dense and third dimensional. And the lighter people are starting to get a glimpse of what it's like here.
I see. And when we transition, what will happen? What's the uh,
It
intention?
will
What?
it will not seem like anything happened with some of them. They will all of a sudden be just here, and it will seem very normal for them because they have been transitioning for such a long time. And yes, they will look different, but they will not know that right away. They will feel like they are just going along, and the planet here is absolutely gorgeous, and there are houses and things like those that are about to transition. Their homes have been brought here and replicated.
Ash, that's weird.
But yet they will actually, it's necessary for those that are transitioning that way. There are some that will transition in a different way, and their homes will not be here. But because it is a different kind of transition. There is more than one way to get here.
So I assume we die here and then we reincarnate there.
Correct. That is one way.
And
There are those that will die and wish to come to Terra Ha before they go to the Oversoul, but that will not be permitted. They must go to the Oversoul first for their review, and then they will be permitted on Terra Ha.
so there is like many billions of us here. So
Yeah.
it can be a huge population coming, right?
And there will be a point where there will be a huge or very large transition of mortals to, well, they're still mortal here, but their mortality changes a bit because life is longer here.
Right. Are you guys vegetarians?
I am a vegetarian. Not everyone here is. There are some breatharians. There are some vegetarians. There are those that eat small amounts of meat, but it's usually not animal. It's usually insect.
I see.
Which is still considered a kind of protein. which it is.
Right. So what special powers do you have?
We have telepathy here.
Mhm.
We have, I don't know what you call it on Earth, but we can see within each of us the way we feel and the how we are moving forward. We can feel the energies of trees. We can feel energies of plants. So we can tell when there is negativity around because we can feel it very strongly and we move away from it. We can also do greater healing than you can do on your world. We can also, our auras are also larger. And so love is felt in a different way here. It is felt as an energy, like a wave of beauty coming to you, a wave of thought processes that are very powerfully positive. And love is much more abundant here. We are slow to anger. Anger has its place with justice and the things that are needing to be addressed in a harsher manner. But we do not try to use anger as personal vendettas or revenge. There is differences here. Many of them you will understand and love. Some of them you may not. We are able to walk through certain densities, meaning that if there was a door created with a molecular structure that is very thin, we would be able to walk through it. Does that make sense to you?
So thank you for, yeah, these are very important answers, very important. And they make sense. So when it comes to telepathy, is there like, can you speak to a group consciousness?
Yes, but you must be trained how to use it that way, because it must only affect those that want to hear. Sometimes when that happens and you speak to a group, more than what you want to be listening will be hearing, and it is not prudent or not a positive thing, because you are intruding on their privacy and you are intruding on their energy. So you have to go to a training session to learn how to be a telepathic speaker.
How about the bigger, like, collective consciousness of the species on the planet?
That will happen at some point. We are more communal here, but we are not yet a community of one thought. We have our own separate minds, and we can meld a couple minds together, or even maybe 4 or 5. But at this point, that is as far as it will go. The reason for that is because there are still many differences between each being, and the samenesses of certain beings can be brought together with telepathy, but not everybody fits into that sameness that can be worked as a community yet. We are still working on becoming more alike in the sense of thought processes and demeanor and those kinds of things that help make a community one-minded. Now, we do not want to be a community of one mind that cannot be separated. We do want to be of a community of one mind when it is necessary, when there are world problems, when there are things that all peoples need to be involved in, epidemics or pandemics. So we do wish that for our people, but it has not happened yet. But when we do reach that place, we still want to have our own individual thought processes and be able to separate if we wish.
Right. Are you observing what happens on the Earth planet?
Yes, to some extent, because the survival of Terra Ha depends on the survival of Terra.
Right. So what's the form of your observation?
What is what?
How do you observe us?
It is easy through technology to look back through the densities and dimensions. It is more difficult to look forward than backward because you've already experienced it and you know what it is like. So we can become involved through what we remember of that lifetime, which God will grant to us. All
Uh,
those that are on Terra Ha were also and must be from Terra.
don't you have aliens?
We do, but they do not live here yet
I see.
because no aliens from out here live on Terra yet. There are those that are out of phase with Terra that live there, and there are those that have taken on human identities that live there, but there are no aliens that have not been from the time of separation come in.
From the time of separation, what time of separation?
From the year 2005, when aliens and humans could not move back and forth any longer, meaning that Earth stopped aliens from coming in and Earth stopped humans from going out in abduction forms or in any form whatsoever,
I see.
except by political agreement.
I see.
That is why there are people on Mars and some on the back of the moon, is because they are there by design.
Right. So what would happen if you meet with people of Earth? Are you out of phase? You cannot meet?
At this time, we cannot meet with you face to face, but we will be able to do that soon, I am sure. There are many moving forward and becoming lighter and out of phase with third density. I see them all the time, but they do not see me yet.
Is Terra Ha physically in the same place as Terra?
Yes, we are one on top of the other. All densities and dimensions are on top of one another.
Oh, so you're not
But
far from us.
what?
You're not far from us.
No, we are actually mingling with you in one sense, but are totally separated from you in another sense.
So when you look at us, how do we look to you?
You look human. You look uh, I understand what you mean by that question, and it's difficult to answer because you are at sometimes ghost-like looking beings and at other times very dense looking beings, depending on what a part of transitioning you're going through.
But when you need to figure out what's the status on the planet, on the Terra planet, Looking
Yes.
at the individuals doesn't help. You really need like the summary of the information. How do you get it?
Well, we are told here that we must prepare Terra Ha because Terra will survive. We do not bring a lot of information from Terra to here or a lot of information from here to Terra because they are two different understandings. However, we must understand where you are at in your transitioning, your ascension, in order for us to prepare properly. And so we are moving forward as you are moving forward. Now, that does not mean the earth will not ever be populated. It will always be populated by those that will not want to move into higher densities and dimensions. But they will change and evolve as the earth is giving off different energies to different densities that are above them.
So who is telling you the situation? There is like an intermediary.
Yes, we have angels and spiritual beings that we call on to get information. But we also have those on earth that we can, as we are doing now, channel and bring information to us that way. We may channel information from earth, and earth may channel information from us. But it is not usually very deep in thought process. We just need to know where we stand at each and every moment at some point. And that is all that we can use.
How is the sexual life and romantic life in Terra Ha?
It is very well. It is more interesting than you may think. Here, we join some of our chakras together when we mate, which brings a deeper understanding and thought process.
Are you monogamous or polygamous?
Polyamorous and bisexual and many things.
Uh-huh. How many of you are there?
There is only 4,000.
Mhm. And how many of them are born? And how many of them are born there?
About 2,300.
I see. So the ones which transition in the body, are they more like meditators and monks?
They are monks, high spiritually beings, those that have been able to process how to move from one plane to another without dying, some of them. And some of them have been here, like myself, for several hundred years.
And you transitioned at that time, long time ago?
I'm not at liberty to tell you what I did and how I translated here, but I'm allowed to tell you that there is much more to it than you might think.
Are any of you transitioned technologically, just sent by aliens?
I did not understand the question.
Is there like a way to transition from the Terra to Terra Ha technologically? Just you pushing the button and being transitioned.
It is possible, yes.
From your calendar, Aaron Adler.
I am
30 minutes.
I am not aware of how that happens, but it does happen.
All right. Thank you very much. My time is over. It was a very interesting conversation and we learned a lot. And it would be nice to continue that conversation in the future.
My name is Kroy.
Thank you very much.
I will bring the channel back.
Thank you. Thank you for talking.
Hello?
Jim, welcome back.
Hi. How are you?
So we meet